you're a shitong, you're an incompetent jackass, and the whole nation knows you're a liar. You should have been fired over Delcy Rodriguez and the drug lords, and we're still waiting on an inquiry into that. You, as Minister of National Security, brought a plane load of Venezuelan drug lords and sent them to meet with the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago under a lockdown without so much of a thermometer check. There were a lot of crimes that were committed right there. Don't talk. Hush. Stuart Young's, the article says, the opposition failed you by failing to support this government with the anti-gang legislation. The opposition, damn right. Kamala, 100 out of 100. Give them no support for nothing. And this government, you can't give them an anti-gang bill. This is already a criminal, dictatorial, incompetent band of thieves. You give them an anti-gang bill? I fully support the UNC and Kamala Prasad-Bissessar on this action and going forward. And that is another conversation because I told Trinidad and Tobago, as of last month, when I announced it, the UNC has my full support. My job is to get Kamala Prasad-Bissessar into government. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why in this video and other videos. But Stuart Young, when the man that you're emulating, the man that you're dressing like, Gary Griffith, the man that you're pretending to be, the man whose coattails you're riding on, the man who you're fooling police and soldiers that you have anything like, wearing fake police uniform to look like you know anything about security, that man, Gary Griffith, I worked with him. I know him. You, Stuart Young, and know Gary Griffith, and you'll never be. And all of the police who sat in that room and listened to you talk your shit know that. This journalists in the Express know you're talking shit, but he had no choice because he had to buy corned beef and macaroni for his family. So he had to write whatever his bosses tell him to write. But everybody knows you're a shitong, you're incompetent, you're a liar. You can't even walk down 2 steps without falling down. So shut your mouth. You're talking about the revolving doors of justice and the need for an anti-gang bill. You, when you was lying down hugging up Maria, you wasn't raising a little gang leader in your house. And you're sending people that tell me she wasn't your stepdaughter. But you're lying down and you're living in the house with the girl and you're lying down with your mother every night. Who you think the children thought you was? The plumber? You was the stepdaddy. And while you were stepdaddy, a whole gang was in your house. You're talking about the revolving doors of justice? When your stepdaughter was locked up, sitting down on a mountain of cocaine, where is she? Inside the jail? She in the jail, Stuart? How would the anti-gang bill have protected this country from your stepdaughter, Stuart Young? How would it have protected us? Or the black BMW that pull up, pick up its cocaine and left. That's what we were told. And we don't know. Because we just get what the bought and paid propaganda media tell us. So tell us, Stuart, as Minister of National Security, the man you're emulating, the man you're copying, Gary Griffith, reduce crime under Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, an effective Prime Minister compared to this stunting jackass Keith Rowley. Under Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, Gary Griffith was able to reduce crime to the lowest it has ever been in this country since Manning started allowing kidnapping to be a thing. Since Martin Joseph was meeting with gang leaders in Crown Plaza to reward them, Gary Griffith, as Minister of National Security, not Commissioner of Police, so you are the Minister of National Security's son. Do something. Stop looking to blame others and stop looking to blame Kamala. You can't walk in Kamala's shoes. You can't stand in Kamala's shadow. You're an incompetent shitong and a liar. And the whole nation think you're a laughing stock. The only reason you still have a walk is for whatever deal Keith Rowley cut with your daddy. And we'll find out after. I promise you it won't end here. And it's not going to end easy. But that's for another time. We'll deal with all the what national, global, wherever the hell it is you and your brother own. We'll deal with that then. Let me deal with this. You can't come and talk about revolving door of justice when inside your own house is a gang leader, cocaine trafficker. Hush your mouth and take credit for that. And tell us, where's your stepdaughter today? Because if she's not inside the jail, hush. You're talking about gang leaders and violent people putting people at risk because they're coming out of jail to use guns again. You are the Minister of National Security's son. Where the guns coming from? We make guns here. Glock have a factory here. M9, Tech 9, anybody? Galil? Who making guns in Trinidad and Tobago? Shorty boy. Who? Who allowing the guns to pass? Who's allowing the cocaine to pass? Who's failing the people while hundreds of our people go missing human trafficking? Who? The Minister of National Security. Guess who that is, jackass? You. You are the biggest clown, the incompetent jackass. You looking to blame Kamala? Kamala should laugh at you publicly. If I was Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, I'd put out a media release that says, in response to Stuart Young, ha 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 ha. You're a shitong, you're incompetent, you're a liar, you're just there to facilitate your family business, so hush, because I'm not going to let you talk that kind of shit on my watch. Kamla Prasad Bisesa was a much better prime minister than this stunting jackass that have you in office. And if you were prime minister, if you were a minister under Kamla and the PNM had raised a fuss about the first stunt you stunted, she'd have fired you. But the PNM is too corrupt for that. You are at home there. So stay there, sit back and hush your mouth, because we're not taking bullshit and chain up from the likes of you. Okay? So I want to ask you this, Shorty boy. How will the anti-gang bill help when your financiers bringing guns into the country? Yeah, PNM financiers. Yeah, the cocaine that running free. Yeah, the billions of dollars, because 50 years of PNM. 50 years of PNM made this a narco state. Oh, did you not know that when you were trying to parachute yourself into the PNM for work ahead of people like Penelope Beckles and Amory Brown, who are your betters, but who will not kiss Rowley's ass and his financiers? So let's talk serious, Church Young, because today's Boxing Day and I am champing, not chomping, champing at the bit for 2021, because I have given Kamla Prasad Bisesa my word that my whole mission now is to put her in government as soon as possible. We're not waiting for 2025. I want to mobilize the people. Wassa could have protest 6 feet social distances. I'm going to put 100,000 people on the road, 6 feet social distancing. We want the property tax removed, that procurement bullshit that you all pass. We want that repeal and rubbish that anti-gang bill. We don't trust you, and we're not giving that to you to lock up poor black people children to make a point, while the real criminals, the shirt and tie bandits, and those who get caught in Regent's Park sitting on mountains of cocaine, still walking around free going party and zessin. So let's talk the truth, Stuarty boy. Let's talk the truth. Who are you to talk about anybody else? What have you accomplished since you were given that massive salary and that position in society? The lack of support by the opposition for the two major pieces of legislation has made the jobs of those... Boy, let me tell you, I can't even read it out laughing. The picture of Gary is what pissing me off. Gary Griffith, stop them using you, that boy, because the PNM riding your back. Stuart Young said the lack of support by the opposition for two major pieces of legislation has made the jobs of those in the protective services exponentially difficult. Bullshit. You know what has? The money out there thieving and given to NCB Global and Nahu's Faris family. That money that we don't need to spend, the $500 million that we spent on the Red House, the $108 million that we spent on President House, the $48 million we spent on Whitehall, the 30-something million we spent on a building, 3 buildings down wrong the Savannah that we have no use for. You see, that money could have paid police officers better. That money could have given police officers the opportunity to live in gated communities and protect their families, so more and more of them don't have to dead. That money could have put down and say, listen, I, as Minister of National Security, will secure the border so properly that not another gun, not another bullet, not even a water gun coming in the country. And as there are 50,000 guns in the country, I'll put aside $100 million, not to waste 5 times on the Red House, not to waste on President's house. I'll put aside $100 million. I'll show it on TV. This $100 million is for police alone. Every gun all they bring in to be destroyed, $2,000 cash bonus, and let police work. So the police will laugh at you for talking this shit. They know you're nonsense, brother. Sit down, shut up, and try to look intelligent. But in spite of this, come 2021, law enforcement will continue to battle criminal elements and eventually regain control of the country. No, you won't. Trinidadians are suffering. Their businesses are collapsing. People are out of work. Normal, everyday, decent, church-going people are going to find themselves committing crime as people try to survive the madness of the People's National Movement. This, according to National Security Minister Stuart Young, who said yesterday that some in Parliament failed the people of Trinidad and Tobago when they refused to support the continuation of the anti-gang legislation and bail amendment bill. I want to tell you something, Stuart. You might be ashamed, but I applaud Kamla Prasad Bisesa and her brave band in the United National Congress, the opposition. They did what the people asked them to do, stand against the PNM, create an obstacle and a roadblock. Do not allow them to get any more power. Thank you, Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Stuart Young, you shit-tongue, you incompetent, lying jackass. At the time, the minister was addressing the members of the police service and defense force at the Interagency Task Force Garden Emergency Branch headquarters at Garden Road, Arangwes South. Young, along with Police Commissioner Gary Griffin and Chief of Defense Staff Daryl Daniel, visited the officers to extend Christmas greetings for their contribution in the fight against crime over the past year. To be a member of Parliament, I hung my head in shame that evening when not everyone supported the continuation of the anti-gang legislation. I apologize to you as elected member of Parliament. But did you apologize to us when your stepdaughter was caught with a mountain of cocaine? Did you apologize to us for the 17 videos we have of her in her little tongues spreading shabamsi, zesting with the gangs? Did you apologize? Did you feel bad as a parliamentarian and hang your head in shame when you and Maria raised that and foisted that on the society? her best friend dead in a shootout between gang and police. You hang your head in shame for that, Stuarty boy? You think we's asses in this country? You think we don't know the words to the Hindi song that you try to sing, that you stand for and look like a fool? Trinidad and Tobago looks at you as the biggest incompetent monkey we've ever had as a pass-off as a parliamentarian. And you should shut your mouth, sit down and try to look intelligent. The United National Congress was a far better government than this government will ever be. And Gary Griffith was the Minister of National Security, and I was working with him. I want to tell you something. We reduced crime. He reduced crime. My work was advising on communication, but he know his shit. And if he was Minister of National Security, now crime would come down. You should be playing with Barbie dolls, you little shitong. You hang your head in shame. Why are you going to apologize to the nation for your stepdaughter? Parliament failed us on that day. No. Parliament failed us on the day we passed the procurement legislation bill that gutted all the protections against criminals giving financial billions of dollars to their brother and their father. That is when the Parliament failed us. We deal with that too, Stuarty boy. The UNC wrote the procurement bill, and your PNM government gutted it to make it legal for parliamentarians and ministers to thief. Young said when it came to the bail amendment bill, it shocked him to realize that any sensible person in this country could defend those held with firearms capable of killing multiple people within seconds. But Stuarty boy, you are the Minister of National Security. You are in charge of the Coast Guard. Where are the guns coming from? Your mammy? How are they getting into the country, Stuarty boy? Kamala bringing them in? Kamala bringing them in, Stuarty boy? The opposition bringing them in? Or you as failed Minister of National Security allowing guns and cocaine to pass? Why does anyone have an unlicensed firearm? Why? Because in Trinidad and Tobago, it was difficult to get a licensed firearm under previous PNM police administrations, and people have been paying $50,000 and $75,000 to buy a license. Corruption in the police service that the PNM refused to reform. Then we deal with it. Take the criminal elements, but if you hold someone with an automatic firearm, a grenade, an incendiary device, understand that they could be on bail within 24 hours less, and you will face them again. You know the hard, sad truth? Those people are less a danger to society than the shirt and tie bandits that you have around you. Son, you opened the country during a pandemic lockdown to bring in Delcy Rodriguez, vice president of an illegal, illegitimate Venezuelan government, and a plane load of drug lords, international narco traffickers, and you have the audacity to talk to anybody about revolving door of crime? I know as a citizen and as your minister what you face. And you have my full support, and you will continue to have my full support always. Once I have breath and life, said Young. But he's never done anything, has he? So that is just bullshit. And it's easy to spew bullshit from inside this PNM government because the journalists in the Guardian, the Express, and the Newsday, they don't have to test what you say. Because a real journalist would say, Stuarty, what have you done? Besides roll down the stairs when you open the fire station, what have you done? Besides open the economy for the country for Delcy and the drug lords, Stuarty, what have you done? How attorneys know so much about Venezuelans. He spoke on the Venezuelan migrant crisis, reminding those in attendance that both the Venezuelan and Trinidad and Tobago borders remain closed. Are they? So when the 150,000 people came, Stuarty boy, who was the Minister of National Security? You. Again, more lies. All you do is lie. Somebody asked me how you know when Stuart Young lying. I say his lips does be moving. Nonetheless, some people are engaging in human trafficking and human smuggling by having Venezuelan nationals illegally brought to this country, he said. You know who they blaming, Stuart? The Coast Guard. They say the Coast Guard running a maxi taxi service between Guayra and Trinidad and Tobago down in Cedros, and it's $200 a head, and they're splitting it at people in the public service. You are the Minister of National Security. If I know that, how come you don't? You should be fired. I have been shocked in the past month at some of the behavior I've seen of persons telling a court they know where a boat is when we, the authorities, don't even know where the boat is. Son, I was speaking to your Attorney General one morning on the phone, and your Attorney General didn't even know what day of the week it was. He didn't know the Ministry of Legal Affairs was not functional, and I had to give him all of that information. I have helped your Minister of Health get his hospitals functional. The fact that you don't know what's going on in your own ministry is no surprise to anybody. All of you seem to walk around gormless and stupid stupid at the best of times. How is it someone sitting in a courtroom can have an idea as to how many people are out there on our coast, not even in our territorial waters, how many boats they are in, how many men, children, and babies? It's called social media, you jackass. Learn it. Pick up a phone, find Google, and ask Google how to use it, because everybody have all the information. That's how you get in yours. People who outside there seeing it, taking pictures and sending it. I just bust the mark on the Parenco platform where you all were lying to the public about how the COVID-19 cases happen to be on that platform. You'll just talk shit like you don't think people could test and check what you're saying. We get the information before you, son. I am asking you, as people charged with the responsibility of upholding the law, investigating criminal activity, and charging people for criminal activity, to think about that, he said. And I agree with him on this point. Because I'm asking you, Stuart Young, to step down as Minister of National Security and make yourself available for investigation into Delcy Rodriguez and the plane load of drug lords that came to Trinidad and Tobago in the dark of night. You lied to the nation, and you told Trinidad and Tobago that you did not know who was on the plane. And then I released the manifest with your signature when you sent it to the people to say, these are the people that are coming in. I, Minister of National Security, say let them in. So you got caught lying, breaking the rules, breaking the law under some very dubious circumstances, and you're still the Minister of National Security. Before you try to put pepper in anybody's food, look around at the own mess that you're making, son. We're not going to forget. I'm going to make sure that a UNC administration brings all of this to justice. Following his address, Young, during an interview with reporters, said he was of the view that some type of investigation should be launched to determine how exactly some attorneys had so much knowledge of these Venezuelan nationals. I want to know, how come you didn't have any knowledge that you had a gang leader, drug trafficker in your house? Launch an investigation into that too. Yeah? You little stunting, lying, incompetent jackass. Minister of National Security. Everybody from the American ambassador to everybody else who deals with this country have had to say repeatedly, this man is a liar. He is a stranger to the truth. What he tells you as his version of reality cannot stand up to test. For a lawyer to sit and tell a court, well, we know they're in a vessel just outside of Trinidad waters, I was shocked that someone would have that type of information. But you sat with me and another lawyer and an activist when I was bringing Jack Warner and them to justice over the fire brigade, the $5 million fire brigade. You remember that? You wasn't shocked that I had that information. I probably have more information than you at the best of times. You want an investigation into how people know information that's available to the world? What you should do is avail yourself of some technology and get some lessons. Yeah? You're just trying to muddy other people. And I want to say this to bring this to a close, because the reason for doing this video is to tell Trinidad and Tobago, and I want to say this clear. Kamala Persad-Bissessar has done a remarkable job cleaning house in the United National Congress. She has removed the people that we have called on her to remove, whose names have been called in corruption. And I laud that. And I want to tell you something. I hang my head in shame when I think the fact that the numbers of people that voted for us and for Watson Duke, if we had all pulled together with the United National Congress in the last election, it would have been the last we'd seen of this PNM. It's a shame that we still have a PNM government, but it's not too late to fix it. And I, Phillip Edward Alexander, give you my word. Anybody outside there who you see still defending PNM, them getting something fit, or they're hoping to get something fit, because no intelligent person alive will stand this level of incompetence and corruption and say that they want to continue on with this. I'm going to make sure that we are going to begin the process of making this country stand up and demand better, or fire this bunch of stunting jackasses, including definitely, specifically, this failed Minister of National Security, whose only job it is in this PNM government to try and dirty others, to distract from the incompetence and the failure of this Kit Rowley PNM administration. Tick tock, I promise you, time is about